This is the crossing of the staffs, which means that anybody that is not an officer above may come up to the podium. SHALAM, which means to Israel. Amajim, which means to stand. Upanyakidam, which means to turn and face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Quadash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakuska, Taba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawar, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakam, Ka, Yawam, Wasalak Nawa, Kawabawaf Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kwabawaf Yanawa, Wala'a, Tabayai Nawa, Bonasaya 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wadapar, La'awalamyam, Aman. The Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Babakashah, Nathananawa, Hakak, Hakak, La Rapa'ah, Kal Makalah, Wakal Marawa, Hakak, La Tahor, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, La Hakim, Hamathium, Hakak, Al Rakawah, Hatama Allah, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Duwad Aman. Prayer for the power in the English. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh, wa Yahushai, Wam Yaka'ala, wa Alahayim, Matazavia, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapium, Hazaranyum, Ha Quadazayim, Ha Kayayim, wa Aquathian, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the Wadaman. Pray for the blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayunya, Al-Horium, Ma'ayan, Yawa'ah, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathun, Lamawat, Ragolka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanawam, Wala'ah, Yayashun, Shalomar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazolka, Al, Yad, Yumyaka, Yawamum, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Baya'ala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makor, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'athka, Wabawa'ahka, Ma'aita, Wa'aid, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al Damayah, Lakah, Al Thakarash, Wa'al, Dashakwat, Al Kaya, Hana, Awayabuka, Yahama, Yawan, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Ya'arayamwa, Sawada, Wayata, Ya'itazawa, Al Tazapawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanaki Dum, Magoya, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham, Yasha'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Noa'itazawa, Labah, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Aholia, Adawam, Wayashamai, Alayam, Moa'aba, Wahagarium, Gabal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palashah, Aim, Yashabia, Tazawar, Gam, Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Selah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadian, Kasa Yasarah, Kayabian, Bonakaol, Kayashawan, Nashamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ara, Hayawa, Daman, La Dama, Shaitamwa, Nara, Yabmawa, Ka'ira, Wakaza'aba, Wakazabak, Wakazazal, Manai, Kal, Nasayakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayurashah, Lanawa, Ah, Naawath, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shaithamwa, Kagogola, Kakwash, Lapanya, Roka, Ba'ash, Daba'ira, Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Hariyam, Khan, Thardatma, Basairika, Wabasa, Wapathka, Dabahalam, Mala'ah, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakashwa, Shemka, Yahweh, Yabashwa, Wayabawa, Idea, I, Wayakparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shemka, Yahweh, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al, Kal, Ha'aratazah. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thou silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace. And be not still, O my power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gebal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot. Selah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Areb, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zebah, and as Zalmunna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Pray for the curses in the English. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, listen to us now. Right now, send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you, always, so be it. Sar, which means to turn. Shabia means to be seated. We're going to be in the book of Joshua, chapter 14 and verse 4 in the Blue Letter Bible. Slide. The book of Judges, chapter 14 and verse 4 in the Hebrew. Wa Abiyahu, Wa Amar, La'a, Yedaiwa, Kaya, Ma Yahweh, Haya, Haya, Thana, Hawa'a, Mabakwash. Mopalashathium, Wa'aith, Hahaya, Palashathium, Mashalayim, Bayasharal, Pa, verse 5, Wayarad, Shamashwan, Wa Abiyahu, Wa Amar, Tamanah, Wayabawa, Aid, Karamaya, Karamia, Slaki, Tamanath, Wahanat, Kapayar, Arayawath, Sha'ab, Lakwarathwa, verse 6. Wa Tatazalka, Al Yahweh, Rawak, Yahweh, Wa Yashataiwa, Kashataiwa, Hagadia, Wa Mawuma. Ayan. Bayabwa. Wala'a. Hagayad. Lahabayawa. Wala Amar. Ashar. It's like Ashar. Aisha. Verse 7. We ride. We the bar. La Asha. Watha Yashar. Bayanya. Shemashwan. Verse 8. We Shab. Mayamayam. Lakwakatha. Lakwakathwa. It's like it. Lakwakatha. It's like it. We Asar. La Rawath. Mapalath. Ha'araya. Wana. Ada. The Barayim. Bagawaya. Ha'ariyah. What a Bosh. Verse 9. Well, you're a Dawa. All. Kapiyawa. Well, you lock. Halawak. Well, call. Well, you lock. All. Habiyawa. Well, all. Amar. It's like Amawa. Well, you thun. Lahum. Well, you Aklawa. Wala'a. Hagayad. Lahum. Kaya. Magawiyah. It's like a Magawiyah. Haraya. Radah. Hadabash. Verse 10. Wayrad. Abiyawa. All. Ha'asha. Wayaish. Sham. Shemashwan. Mashatha. Kaya. Khan. Yaishawa. Habakarayim. Gotta clap that up. Get it in English. All right, this is the book of Judges, chapter 14, and verse 4 in the English. But his father and his mother knew not that it was of the Lord, that he sought an occasion against the Philistines. For at that time the Philistines had dominion over Israel. Since like we went over last week, this is the story of Samson. And of course, we all know the story of how it is this brother, wanted to take of him a heathen wife. Saying that a daughter of the Philistines to be his wife, and his parents was asking him, why is it that you can't go and get you a wife of your people? And get you a daughter of the children of Israel to wife. But what it is that his parents didn't understand is that the Lord was going to use Samson to bring down the Philistines, who were ruling over and oppressing blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. And what they didn't realize is that the Lord will use the lust, of brothers and sisters to bring down other nations. You understand? That's exactly what happened with Samson. You understand? His desire was for a heathen woman. So shoot, you understand? And since the Lord, already knows, what's going to happen, why not just use, this brother as a tool to bring down the Philistines. Verse 5. Then went Samson down, and his father and his mother, to Timnath, and came to the vineyards of Timnath, and behold, a young lion roared against him. Verse 6. The Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and he rent him as he would have rent a kid. And he had nothing in his hand, but he told not his father or his mother what he had done. And when these heathens, when they hear stories like this is where they got the entire idea, during the Roman Empire, of throwing blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians in them coliseums against all kinds of wild beasts, against lions, against bears, against jaguars, anything it is that they could get their hands on that they know would tear the flesh of a man, that they knew that a man would never really, stand a chance against if it was in, hand-to-hand combat. You understand? These heathens, they read our records. They knew exactly who it is that we were. And, they wanted to see if the stories were true. And of course, America has that same spirit of throwing blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians to wild beasts. It's no secret that they used to use our babies as alligator bait here in America. Also, it is they could get, some fancy boots or a fancy purse. That's the worth of our lives here is some boots. You understand? A purse or a belt, whatever it is they wanted to craft out of it. That's the worth of our children's lives. And of course, we already know how it is that our oppressor would feed our babies. You understand? Back when they invaded the Americas and conquered this land, they would feed our babies to their dogs. They would make competitions out of it. They fed so many Native and Latino babies to their dogs that was their preferred. That's what it is they would prefer to eat. They have that documented of how it is that their dogs enjoyed our children so much that was their preferred meat to devour. It wasn't no beef, it wasn't no chicken, no bird it is they could catch out there. None of that. It was our children. And that's the spirit that this place is always going to have, and that these heathens will always have towards us, is to find any and every way that they can to oppress and destroy our nation. But what they don't realize a judgment for their crimes against us. It didn't happen today. It says it's 2023. None of these devils had a hand in what happened back then. But there has to be a judgment in this earth, and the crimes of their forefathers, it gets passed down to the children. So there has to be some kind of justice for our people. Like, I understand we're Christian, like we want to love everybody. We don't want anyone to go through any kind of suffering because we've just become the best slaves in America. But there has to be a justice for our nation, and we should want that, regardless of if they've had a hand in it today or not. Like, there has to be some kind of judgment that's passed. Like, even the heathens understand that. Like, even heathens understand that if a nation is wronged or oppressed you, like, there has to be a form of justice, or at least there has to be some kind of separation from those people so that the oppression that's happened to them doesn't happen again. But because we follow false prophets and we follow our Christian leaders, we don't know that. And that's why our people need the I.S.U.P.K and the Command of GEN.YAHANNA, so that they can learn these very simple things. Verse 6. Verse 7. And he went down and talked with the woman, and she pleased Samson well. Verse 8. And after a time, he returned to take her, and he turned aside to see the carcass of the lion. And behold, there was a swarm of bees and honey in the carcass of the lion. Verse 9. And he took thereof in his hands, and went on eating, and came to his father and mother, and he gave them, and they did eat. But he told not them that he had taken the honey out of the carcass of the lion. Verse 10. So his father went down unto the woman, and Samson made there a feast, for so used the young men to do. Verse 11. It came to pass when they saw him that they brought 30 companions to be with him. Verse 12. And Samson said unto them, I will now put forth a riddle unto you. If ye can certainly declare it me within the 7 days of the feast, and find it out, then I will give you 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. Verse 13. But if ye cannot declare it me, then shall ye give me 30 sheets and 30 change of garments. And they said unto him, Put forth thy riddle, that we may hear it. 14. And he said unto them, Out of the eater came forth meat, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. And they could not in 3 days expound the riddle. 15. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they said unto Samson's wife, Entice thy husband, that he may declare unto us the riddle, lest we burn thee and thy father's house with fire. Have ye called us to take that we have? Is it not so? It says, so these men were threatening to kill Samson's wife and her father's house, you understand, and by burning them, because they didn't want to give up. Like today, we don't look at fabric as if it's a hard, I won't say a hard resource to come by, but you had to have money to be able to have fabric like that. Like how it is, they just made this bet with Samson of giving up 30 garments. Like that's a lot of material. And of course, because rich men never want to lose their riches, never want to lose their status, they'll do anything to keep it, even if it means that they have to harm another person. You understand? If they have to destroy the lives of another individual, which is why we should never trust in rich men as a people. Like we've trusted in them for so long, and yet they've done nothing to help us. Instead, they've helped our oppressor destroy us. How do you know that's the case? Well, look at what it is that God damn, what's his name? Michael Jordan does. You understand? Like with all the money it is that he puts into the prison system to further destroy blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, to further oppress blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. There's someone who even said that he doesn't make his shoes for his people. He makes it for the rich of this earth so he can get richer. And meanwhile, these same people that will never help their nation, never rebuild their communities, never spend any dime to help a black, Latino, or a Native Indian get out of the situation that they have been put in by our oppressor. Like these same men and women, they will turn to our people and demand that, you know, they get our help. You understand that we must stand together if we want to be able to come up as a nation. When they've never given, you know, a damn about anyone but themselves. And these men were the same way. That's why it is that they went to Samson's wife and threatened to not only burn her, but to burn her father's house. Because they only cared about themselves and keeping their riches and wealth, keeping their power in the world. 16. And Samson's wife wept before him and said, "Thou dost but hate me, and lovest me not. Thou hast put forth a riddle unto the children of my people, and hast not told it me." And he said unto her, "Behold, I have not told it my father, nor my mother, and shall I tell it thee?" You understand? So instead of this heathen going to her husband and letting her know how it is that the men of her nation, the rich men of her nation, you know, threatened to murder her in her father's house, instead of her going and telling this brother that, instead she decides to work for the heathens, decides to come against her husband and help the men get richer. And that's something that we should really take into account today here in America. Like brothers and sisters that get a little bit of money and you decide to go and marry a heathen, you decide to marry someone outside of your nation, someone that is not black, Latino, or Native Indian, like you're just going to make their nation richer. That's all you're going to do. Like all the wealth it is that you have built, all of the hard years of labor, the, you know, all of the deals it is that you've had to make, like everything it is that you've done in order to secure a future for yourself and your future generations. Like when you marry a heathen, all of that just goes down the drain. All of it is going to go to them and their people. Like just look at all the cases of brothers and sisters, you know, saying getting divorced and the heathens getting everything. All you got to do is go look in the news. That's why we have to start doing as the Lord said and marry within our nation. You understand? If you're a brother, you take a daughter of the children of Israel to wife. If you are a sister, you take a son of the children of Israel as your husband. Like, don't go and find, you understand, another nation who oppresses your people and thinking that this heathen is different, thinking that, oh well, you know, they love me. Oh, they're different from everybody else. Their upbringing, it was different. They don't have the same views as their parents. It's 2023, because at the end of the day, their spirit will gravitate towards their people. Their spirit will have their people's best intentions in mind. Verse 17, and she wept before him the 7 days, while their feast lasted, and it came to pass on the 7th day,
that he told her, because she lay sore upon him. And she told the riddle to the children of her people. Since over these 7 days, this heathen, instead of her telling her husband what was going on, the threats that were made against her, the intimidation it is that these rich men tried doing to her, just like rich men always do in the world, instead of her telling her husband that and seeking his protection, instead she doubled down on it. Instead, she wept for all 7 days. She didn't make mention of none of it until it got to the point to where, the brother's spirit just, it just felt weak. Like nobody wants to, see their rib broken up for 7 days over, anything. So little is telling the answer to a riddle. You understand? Like the Lord knew what he was doing, you understand, when he made sisters. Like like when you see them, you just think of a child. You understand? Like when you see your child crying, you understand, their eyes all puffy with them big eyes. They have no power in getting what they want. You just want to do something for them. You understand? You want to ease what suffering it is that they think that they have. And Samson, he did the same thing for his wife. It's the same thing that many brothers do today for their wives. And when she found the answer, instead of her sitting back and contemplating if she should tell these disgusting heathens, the children of her people, if she should tell them the answer to the riddle, instead of her weighing the pros and cons, instead she just ran straight to them and let them know what the answer was, saving her life and saving the life of her father. And she didn't give a damn about what happened to her husband, what happened to a black, Latino, or Native Indian. And it's the same thing today. Don't think things have changed just because it's 2023. Like, the spirit on these heathens is still the same, and it will always be the same. We're the only ones that don't realize that as a people. Verse 18. And the men of the city said unto him on the 7th day, before the sun went down, what is sweeter than honey? And what is stronger than a lion? And he said unto them, if ye had not plowed, if ye had not plowed with my heifer, ye had not found out my riddle. Verse 19. And the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, and he went down to Ashkelon, and slew 30 men of them, spoil, and gave change of garments unto them, which expounded the riddle. And his anger was kindled, and he went up to his father's house. 20. But Samson's wife was given to his companion, whom he had used as his friend. So even after all that, Samson's wife was still, you understand, still, I ended up marrying, another man. Chapter 15, Judges 15:1. But it came to pass within a while after, in the time of wheat harvest, that Samson visited his wife with a kid. And he said, I will go in to my wife into the chamber. But her father would not suffer him to go in. Verse 2. And her father said, I verily thought that thou hast utterly hated her. Therefore I gave her to thy companion. Is not her younger sister fairer than her? Take her, I pray thee, instead of her. Verse 3. And Samson said concerning them, now shall I be more blameless than the Philistines, though I do them a displeasure. It's lucky. And that's the custom of these heathens. Like they'll just they'll just make promiscuous women out of their daughters. You understand? Like like they don't give a damn if the husband has put them away or if the husband has died. Like if they think that they can acquire some kind of gain out marrying them to another man, regardless of the status of who they were married to, like they'll go and do that. Like that's why the Lord told us not to like not to follow the customs of these heathens. You understand? Like the Lord told us to be a separate people because He knows exactly how it is these people operate. Like we're the only ones who are oblivious to it. We're the only ones that don't know like the culture of these heathens and how it is that we have taken after them and how it is that their culture has destroyed, it's like how taken on their culture has destroyed our communities, has destroyed our families, and will destroy our future generations if we don't get right as a people. If we don't come into this truth and start serving the Lord how we're supposed to, start learning of our culture and our customs, our history, our laws. Start learning these scriptures right here. Like if we don't start doing that, then we will just remain destroyed as a nation. Our children will continue going without knowing who their fathers are. Brothers are gonna keep murdering each other in the streets over promiscuous women because they can't keep their goddamn legs closed, or because they want a little bit of drugs. Like we are going to remain destroyed as a people unless we take our spirit out of this place. Verse 4. And Samson went and caught 300 foxes and took firebrands and turned tail to tail and put a firebrand in the midst between two tails. Verse 5. And when he had set the brands on fire, he let them go into the standing corn of the Philistines and burnt up both the shocks and also the standing corn with the vineyards and olives. Verse 6. Then the Philistines said, Who hath done this? And they answered, Samson, the son-in-law of the Timnite, because he had taken his wife and given her to his companion. And the Philistines came up and burnt her and her father with fire. And say so. So since this heathen didn't, since she didn't turn on to her husband for protection, like she was burned anyways with fire, her and her father's house. I mean, because of course, us being a people that's well versed in warfare, you know what I'm saying, and Samson so elegantly taking out the food supply of the Philistines, you know what I'm saying, with them firebrands. Just one man taking out the supply of an entire region, like, of course that's not something that they expected to happen. And like this is just one example of how the Israelites in the Bible, like we weren't a bunch of sissies like all these false prophets have tried to turn blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians into. Like we are a warrior people. Like we're not meant to be all forgiving, all loving, if you slap my cheek, then I'll turn so you can hit the other one. Like we're not supposed to be like that. Like we are a hardcore people. Like all throughout these scriptures, like you'll see how it is that we went to war over crimes that have been committed against our people. You understand? For offenses that have been done to our nation. Like we've gone to war over that. But yet today, we're just taught to forgive everything, to let everything go, let bygones be bygones. If they say anything, let them know how much you love them, and you kill them with kindness. Like it all sounds very, rainbowish. You understand? And of course, everybody should already know what I mean when I say that. Like it's all very rainbowish. To have a mindset like that, to have wisdom like that, like it's it's like verse 7. And Samson said unto them, though ye have done this, yet will I be avenged of you, and after that I will cease. Verse 8. And he smote them hip and thigh with a great slaughter, and he went down and dwelt in the top of the rock Etam. Verse 9. Then the Philistines went up and pitched in Judah, and spread themselves in Behi. Verse 10. The men of Judah said, why are ye come up against us? And they answered, to bind Samson are we come up, to do him as he hath done to us. Verse 11. Then 3,000 men of Judah went to the top of the rock Etam, and said to Samson, knowest thou not that the Philistines are rulers over us? What is this that thou hast done unto us? And he said unto them, as they did unto me, so have I done unto them. And that's like this. Our people have that same spirit today that those 3,000 Judites had then. Like they went to Samson and they asked him, like, do you not know that this is our slave master? This is the people that rule over our nation. And basically let him know that he's causing trouble for everybody, for the entire nation of people, because he was standing up against the oppressor of our nation. You understand? Like there's only so much oppression it is that one can take until they decide that there's going to be a change. And instead of these brothers banding together with Samson, like instead of them, saying that we stand by your side and we'll fight against these Philistines with you, they were coming against him, just like our people do today. Just like our people come to the I.S.U.P.K every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whether we're out doing the work, if we're at the store, whatever it is that we're doing, and people find out what it is that we're about, they'll always say that really we're making it worse for black people. You understand that we're really the problem when it comes to our nation. When in reality, the problem with our people is that we follow, the false prophets in America. We follow our slave master. We would much rather have an easier life as slaves than a hard life as freemen. That's what we would rather have. Otherwise, like there would be more brothers and sisters accepting who they are. But when you see that you have to give up, getting high, in order to serve the Lord. You understand? You don't want to give up those drugs because it makes your life easier. It makes the oppression it is that you go through every single day more tolerable. Like it's you can take someone saying something slick to you. You can take the beatings. You can take the poverty. You can take your woman emasculating you. Sisters. You can take the we can just take the abuse like when we get high. But what we don't understand is that life is about warfare. Like at some point you're going to have to fight not only the nations around you, but you're going to have to fight the philosophies it is the nations have pushed onto us. You're going to have to fight the gods that we have accepted as a people for the past 400 years. You're going to have to fight your demons if you want to be able to survive in this place. Otherwise, you're going to die. Don't believe me? Just look at the state of our people now. Look at the state that we have been in this country for the past 400 years. We've been doing nothing but dying. Our bodies lay in the streets of America, lay in the fields for the fowls of the air to feast on, filling the graves of this disgusting and vile place because we choose not to serve the Lord. Because we have allowed false prophets to deceive us as a nation. If we just look at the fruit, it is that the Christian church bears, how the Muslims, those in the spirituality and worshiping the stars, fake Israelites, and then the home of the truth, I.S.U.P.K and the GEN.YAHANNA. If we look at the fruit, it is that everybody, all these organizations and schools and religious institutions, whatever the hell you want to call it, like you look at the fruit it is that everybody bears, and you look and see who has brought forth, the good fruit, that which is going to nourish you and give you what you need to survive. There's only one tree out here that has done that, and that's the I.S.U.P.K under command of GEN.YAHANNA. All the other fruit out there is rotten. You understand? You eat it, you're gonna find a worm in it. You eat it, you're gonna get sick. You try to plant a seed from those trees, it's gonna come all twisted and ugly. Whatever however you want to describe it for you to understand that there's only one place that has built up blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. Only one place that has protected blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. They have tried teaching the culture and history and ensuring that we get that protection from the Lord, and that is the I.S.U.P.K. Verse 12, and they said unto him, we are come down to bind thee, that we may deliver thee into the hand of the Philistines. And that's exactly what it is that they tried doing out there in Kansas City. And saying shout out to the KC4, four brothers that stood strong in the presence of a bunch of disgusting purple pigs who sought to wrongfully incarcerate them for crimes it is that they didn't commit. You understand? Who sought to take the side of our oppressor and try to bully them off of them street corners from raising up blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. But because we have the Spirit of the Lord in here, and because we know these scriptures and know that we are not supposed to be a bunch of punks and forgive any trespass that has been committed against us as a people, you understand, as priests and prophets of the Lord, them men, they defended this truth just like we do every day in the I.S.U.P.K. But there's cowards out there that would much rather we just let it go. That we forgive and we ask them how it is we can avoid this situation again. We want more situations like what happened out there. Like Commander GEN.YAHANNA said, we should have sent less. Then maybe all you cowards that listen to our classes, cowards who have broken off from 1 West, coming out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander GEN.YAHANNA, maybe then you cowards would be able to get the goddamn courage to come against this organization. Get the courage to have some kind of masculinity about you. But here in the I.S.U.P.K, you understand, we'll continue to do this work. We don't give a damn if it's 30 pigs, if it's 2,000 cowards. We don't give a damn who you are. We're going to continue to push this truth and raise up this nation. And if you are a brother in the world and you claim to be about that life, claim to have masculinity, and if you ain't in here, I don't believe a goddamn thing you got to say. If you're all for fighting for your people, and you're known for, you understand, being a brother who don't shy away from danger, then you should be in the I.S.U.P.K fighting for your people. Otherwise, you like, hey, that's all I got to say. You understand? I ain't trying to hear a damn thing you got to say. And Samson said unto them, swear unto me that ye will not fall upon me yourselves. Verse 13. And they spake unto him, saying, no, but we will bind thee fast and deliver thee into their hand. But surely we will not kill thee. And they bound him with 2 new cords and brought him up from the rock. And Samson had such brotherhood that he asked these brothers, you know, like, don't be the ones to fall upon me. Don't be the ones to kill me. Because Samson already knows, like, he's going to defend himself. Like, he's going to take as many bashes as he can with him. Just like the brothers in KC did. Just like the brothers in Kentucky did. Like, Samson was no coward. Our forefathers in these scriptures who stood up and fought for our people, they were no cowards. That's why it is that we have this spirit here in the I.S.U.P.K. That's why it is that we have to ensure that that spirit lives on in this nation. Otherwise, we will just be a nation of slaves, a nation of servants, and the rich men of our people would enjoy that because they get to keep their riches it is that they have built. The riches that they have gotten off of the backs of blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. But when they see us, when they see the works it is that we have done, then that's when they get some fear. Because they understand that the riches that they have acquired, it's going to start going away. All that wealth they have built is going to be nothing because no black, Latino, or Native Indian is going to support them. Because they see not only how it is that we benefit the nation, but they see the brotherhood it is that we have for our people. They see how it is that we mourn with our people when a crime has been committed against us. No false prophet can say that. No matter what it is that they call themselves. But instead, they take advantage of our people. When the Buffalo Massacre happened at that supermarket, who was there to comfort our people and mourn with our people, to make sure they had what it is that they needed in order to get through them hard times? That was the I.S.U.P.K. That was Captain Azanaya out there comforting blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, comforting the families of the victims. That was us out there. And we have been doing this since 1969. Nobody else has. Nobody else has spoken up about the crime that's been committed. But instead, you bastards have said, to hell with Trayvon Martin. He should have stopped. He should have listened to that white man. When even the police on the phone was saying that goddamn animal was in the wrong, told him to stop harassing that brother and following him. And he said, well, they always get away. They always get away with it. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians get murdered in the streets for absolutely nothing, just like that brother did. What in the hell are we getting away with? What are we getting away with in this country? We end up dead in the streets because you don't like how it is that we dress. You don't like how we walk, or we didn't look down at the ground when we walk past you. And you want to say we get away with everything. God damn it. If our oppressor is not the devil that the Bible speaks of, then who is? Verse 14. And when he came unto Lehi, the Philistines shouted against him. The Spirit of the Lord came mightily upon him, and the cords that were upon his arms became as flax that was burnt with fire, and his bands loosed from off his hands. Verse 15. And he found a new jawbone of an ass, and put forth his hand, and took it, and slew 1,000 men therewith. 16. And Samson said, with the jawbone of an ass, heaps upon heaps, with the jaw of an ass have I slain 1,000 men. And when Samson saw these 1,000 heathens, these bastards that sought to intimidate and emasculate him, instead of him folding and begging for mercy and crying and snot-nosed in every goddamn where and trying to perform, you understand, oral sex on these bastards, the hope that they wouldn't murder him, much like you fake Israelites would have done out there in Kansas City, much like you fake Israelites do anytime it is that someone with greater numbers roll up upon you. Instead of this brother showing that he didn't have the Spirit of the Lord, instead of him doing that, he went and fought. He found a jawbone of an ass, and he slayed those 1,000 heathens, those men who sought to take his life, those men that outnumbered him 1,000 to 1, and yet he slew all of them, every single one of them bastards. And that's exactly what we do here in the I.S.U.P.K. We don't give a damn if you got numbers against us. We'll go out in camps and still run you off the block. Still be the home of the truth no matter what happens. Whether we have to die in the streets like we prepare to every Saturday. Just like we do every Friday. Like we do every single time we go out to push this truth. Because we have the Spirit of the Lord. Because the Lord is with us here in the I.S.U.P.K. Every single one of them brothers in Kansas City came home against them 30 purple pigs who sought to take their lives, who sought to emasculate them. Every single brother from Kentucky came home against a goddamn city that sought to take their lives because the Lord was with us. And none of them brothers backed down. The brothers who went out to El Paso, the brothers who went to Acuna, every single one of them came home. Even though we were going through red zones that the cartels ran. That's nothing that you cowards can say that you would ever do. Because you're afraid of numbers. Because your strength lies in numbers. You are nothing but cowards. Every single one of you. And if you claim not to be a coward, hey, then what you should do is you should come into the school. Because you might have a little bit of masculinity about you. You know, you might really be about that life. Well, let's see it. You're saying get in class, put on that all black, and if you ain't fit for it, then don't show up. You know, stay where you are. Of speaking that he cast away the jawbone out of Ramoth Lehi, verse 18. And he was sore athirst and called on the Lord and said, Thou hast given this great deliverance into the hand of thy servant, and now shall I die from thirst and fall into the hand of the uncircumcised? Verse 19. But God clave an hollow place that was in the jaw, and there came water thereout, And when he had drunk, his spirit came again, and he revived. Wherefore he called the name thereof in a core, which is in Lehi unto this day. Verse 20. And he judged Israel in the days of the Philistines 20 years. Judges 16, chapter 16, verse 1. Then went Samson to Gaza, and saw there an harlot, and went in unto her. Verse 2. And it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him in, and laid wait for him all night in the gate of the city, and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. Verse 3. And Samson lay till midnight, and arose at midnight, and took the doors of the gate of the city, and the 2 posts, and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders, and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron. Verse 4. And it came to pass afterward that he loved a woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. Verse 5. And the lords of the Philistines came up unto her, and said unto her, entice him, and see wherein his strength, see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. Verse 6. And Delilah said to Samson, tell me, I pray thee, and Slakia. You understand? And just like before, them bastards used this brother's wife, a woman it is that he loved, use her against him in order to bring him down. You understand? They're doing it here once again. Like brothers, you got to understand that the woman is the weaker vessel. Our oppressor and these false prophets and our families, they're going to come against your wife to try to get you to leave the truth, to try to afflict you. Like brothers, when you come into this school, you have to stand strong against all adversities, no matter who it is, whether it's your family, you understand, your parents, your grandparents, your cousins, whether it's your wife, your children. Like, it doesn't matter who it is that comes against you. You have to be able to stand against that. You have to be able to overcome all of these enemies that have been set against you. Like Christ didn't die so that it is so everybody can just come together and sing kumbaya songs and join hand in hand. Like Christ said that he came with a sword. And he said that father will be against son, mother against daughter. It's not how it is that Christianity has painted it. You understand? Of everyone just coming together in the spirit of Christ. If that was the case, then what happened out there in Kansas wouldn't have happened. If that was the case, all these cowards would have broken off from One West. They wouldn't have done so. Instead, they would have put on their all black. They would have swept floors and cleaned toilets like a humble servant. But instead, they wanted to be the boss. Instead, they wanted to abuse blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. Instead of them being in the truth and being in this body under Christ. When you come into this school, you be ready against any enemy that the Lord may set against you. Any enemy, whether it's your wife, your children, your parents, you be ready to fight against them in these scriptures. You be ready to defend this truth and to defend your brothers. Okay. and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Verse 7. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green withs that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Verse 8. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green withs which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. Verse 9. Now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the withs as a thread of tow is broken when it toucheth the fire. So his strength was not known. Verse 10. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. And because this sister only sought to protect her own life and sought to get rich off of these disgusting Philistines who were seeking to take this brother's life, you understand? She tried making this brother feel bad because he wouldn't tell her where it is that his strength lies, what it is that made him strong. So it is that she could give him up to the Philistines to be murdered. But what it is that people in the world don't understand is that our strength lies with the Lord. Like we are not here. You understand? Like it's like we do not get our strength to defeat our demons and to be able to come against mobs of cowards and mobs of enemies, all because we have braids, because we lift weights. Like, you know, whatever, you understand? Like you wanna, try saying, you get strength from. Like, we get our strength because we have faith in the Lord. Because we have faith in these scriptures right here, and that what is prophesied to come will come to pass. That's where we get our strength from here in the I.S.U.P.K. That's why it is that we have strength when it comes against fighting against mobs of cowards, mobs of pigs, and why you other Israelites, why you other false prophets will flee from them, will seek to please them in any kind of way, if it means it will save your life, even if you have to turn on the Lord, which you have already done because you are not in this truth. You are not in this body under Christ. That's why we can never fail, because the Lord is with us, because we have faith in the Lord, because we serve the Lord. Verse 11, and he said unto her, if they bind me fast with new ropes that never were occupied, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Verse 12, Delilah therefore took new ropes and bound him therewith, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson, liars in wait abiding in the chamber. And he brake them from off his arms like a thread. Verse 13, and Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Tell me wherewith thou mightest be bound. And he said unto her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. 14, and she fastened it with the pin, and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awaked out of his sleep and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. It says, it's like I went a little over, you understand? But brothers should take away from this. You should never fall weak to your woman. Like you should never fold when it comes to doing this work. If she don't want you to go out to camp, she don't want you to come teach class, to come dwell with the brothers, you check her and then you mob out that door and you come do the work of the Lord. Like, don't allow for anything to distract you from this truth right here. Like, distractions will lead to your destruction. Sisters as well. If you're married to a brother that ain't in the truth, if unfortunately he's one of these cowards out here who have broken off from One West, if he's one of these cowards who is comfortable with being a Christian, then you continue to do the work of the Lord. You continue to come to class. You continue to come to high holy days. You cook food to brothers. You do everything in your power to serve the Lord and to show that you are worthy of the mercy that the Lord has given you for this short time. You show that you are changing your life and accepting who it is that you are, so that the Lord doesn't put you to death, so that you don't have to fall weak and go be some whore out in the Christian church, so you don't have to be some stupid bitch wearing purple like them broads do with them purple pigs, so that you don't have to be some disgusting broad that you were before you found the truth. Same for you brothers. You stay strong in this truth. If you feel like you're getting weak, you would better turn to a brother. You would better get counsel. You do everything in your power to remain strong in here. Because that's all it is that we build, is strong men and women for this nation. That's the only choice. Otherwise, go ahead and leave. Get to stepping, do your thing. Nobody will say anything about you. You don't say nothing about us. But us in here, we're going to continue to do the work of the Lord. We're going to continue to raise up this nation no matter what enemies we have to face, no matter what adversities we might go through. We're going to continue to raise up our people. We're going to continue to do the work of the Lord. And nobody can stop that. No police, whether they are in uniform, plain clothes, wearing purple. No fake Israelites. No matter how many unity camps you might have, no Christians, no matter how big your congregation is, no Muslims, no matter how many bricks you might throw at us, no matter how many chunks of Allah you might throw at us, Salakia, none of you will stop us. Because we are going to do this work just as Commanding General Yahanna has been doing until the kingdom of heaven is established in this earth. Until the oppression of blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians is at an end. With that, I'm Majum, just the man behind the podium. La Yasha'Allah, which means to Israel. Amajum, which means to stand. Upon your haki dum, means to turn and face the east. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Qudash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Malakwithka, Daba'ah, Ratzayika, I.S.U.P.K, Barataza, Kawar, I.S.U.P.K, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawum, Wasalakanawa, Kwabawath Nawa, Kasalak now, Wawath now, Wala'a, Dabayai now, Banasaya one, a ball, Hawashai now, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, with the power, La Awalamyum, Aman, the Lord's Prayer in the English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Prayer for the Hakak, or the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Babakashah, Nathanawa, Hakak, Hakak, La Rapa'ah, Kal Makalah, Wakal Madawa, Hakak, Lator, Hamatazarayim, Hakak, Lahakim, Hamatim, Hakak, Al Rakawath, Hatama Allah, Lagarshan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Tawala Aman. Pray for the power in the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai. Please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Pray for the blessings in the Hebrew. Baruch atah Yahweh, wa Yahushai, wa Yaka Allah, wa Alahayim, Matazabia, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapia, Hazaranyam, Ha Quatazayanyam, Ha Kayayam, wa Quathian, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, the water Aman. Blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you. So be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Hohariam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'ah, Isaiah, Ma'ayim, Yahweh, Aishah, Shemayam, Wa'aratazah, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regolka, Al-Yanavam, Shemarka, Hana, La'ah, Yanavam, Wala'ah, Yashan, Shawamar, Yashala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tizalka, Al, Yad, Yamyaka, Yawamum, Hashamash, La'ah, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balya'ala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makol, Rai, Yashamar, Athnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaatka, Wabuaka, Ma'aita, Awalam. Psalms 121 in the English. I will lift my eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in, from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim, Al Damayah, Lakah, Al Thakarash, Wa Al Dashakwat, Al Kayah, Hana, Awayabuka, Yahweh, Yawun, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Ya'ariyamwa, Sawada, Wayatha, Ya'itazawa, Al Tazapabanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanaki Dam, Magoya, Wala'ah, Yazakar, Sham, Yasha'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawa'itazawa, Labah, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Baryath, Yakarathwa, Aholia, Alawam, Wayashamai, Alayan, Mawa'aba, Wa'gariam, Gubal, Wa'amawan, Wa'amalak, Palashath, Aim, Yashabia, Tazawar, Gam, Ashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya, Lawat, Selah, Asha, Laham, Kamadian, Kasa Yasara, Kayabian, Banika'o, Kayashawan, Neshamadwa, Ba'ayan Da'ara, Hayawa, Damun, La Dama, Shai Thumwa, Nana, Yab Magwa, Ka'ira, Wakaza Abba, Wakaza Bak, Wakazazol, Manai, Ko, Nasiyakamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayurasha, Lanawa, Nawa, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shai Thumwa, Kagogola, Kakwash, Labanya, Roka, Ka'ash, Daba Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Dalahat, Haryam, Khan, Dardatma, Masa'irika, Wabasa, Wapaska, Dabahalam, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakashwa, Shimka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabawa, Idea, I, Wayaparwa, Wayabadwa, Wayadaiwa, Kaya, Atan, Shimka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al, Kal, Ha'aratazah. Psalms 83 in the English. Keep not thou silence, O my power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O my power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. A sword also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. Selah, do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Arab, and like Zeeb, yea, all their princes, as Zeba, and as Dalmunna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession. O my power, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth a wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. Prayer for the curses in the English. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels and the radio channels, convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always. So be it. Sar, which means to turn.